Man, you don't see that every day. Welcome to episode 2. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that's close to my heart, a game called Arkham Horror. Now, before I get there, I want to go back to when I first discovered it. For me, I've discovered it through a role-playing game called Call of Cthulhu, which I bought back in the 80s. It was in a gaming store, or at that time actually a toy shop. Me and my friends played D&D. If you picture Stranger Things, we were like those group of kids playing D&D. So I picked up this game. It was a horror game. We'd never seen anything like it. Didn't run through it killing all the monsters. We had to actually think, and you went crazy. It was so much fun. It was so different. So that was my first experience with it, and from that day it left a great impression on me. So moving forward, you grow up, you have kids, you get away from gaming, you do all those adult things. And I moved to Australia, and I was in a gaming store in Australia, and I saw Arkham Horror, and I picked it up, and I was like, wow, this is Call of Cthulhu. So I read the back, and it just seemed so cool. It looked cool. Picked it up, went home, put it down, popped open the box, and I was like, wow, this thing is immense. The rulebook was huge. The board was massive. They had all these investigators, all these cards. It was a great moment in my life. It was so cool, like the background and all these fantastic things. But it wasn't the most accessible thing in the world. It was actually really hard to sort of get into. So I almost studied it. I learned it. I learned how to play the game, introduced it to a group of friends, and we played it. First few times for me was tough because I was the only one that knew how to play it, and it sort of diminished my experience of it because I felt like I was actually more like I was DMing the game as opposed to playing it. It was a board game. And over the years I met groups of people that did know how to play it, and my experience of it was different, and I had to be honest, whether I was there the one that was running it or whether I was actually playing it, I had a great time with it. I had a great experience with Arkham Horror as a game itself. And again, we're going to fast forward a little bit. The announcement of the 3rd edition come. So for me personally, when things change like that, I don't get involved in the reviews of things. I don't get involved with other people's opinions of it. I don't get involved in reading the blurbs on their website. I like to formulate my own opinion, have my own experience with something. So I ignored all that, and on the day it came in at Games Empire, I picked it up, I took it home, and it's kind of a similar experience to what I had when I picked up the 2nd edition. I popped open the box, had a look to the inside, and some of the things that really struck me about it, straight away, one of the biggest things that struck me was the difference. Now for me, it's the actual way they set up the map. Now, they set up the map is done through a scenario. It's here, and this is the map here, which are double-sided tiles. Again, massively different. So here's an example of the game board setup. Now, if you have any experience with the previous version of it, you'll notice how different this is. Set up in a series of little hexes here with roadways and walkways and stuff through. So, I don't want to go into gameplay, and I don't want to spoil it for you. However, the game is driven by scenarios, tells you how to set it up, tells you the creature you're fighting, and it tells you your victory conditions on this side. Now, to get through this, you have to work as a team, and if you don't, you're gonna lose. I have found that the game provokes a lot of conversation after I've played it. So yeah, thumbs up from me. I really enjoy this version of Arkham Horror. What they also did, or still do, is the characters, background story, and the stats here. They're universal across all the games in the series now, which I really like. So they've brought all that together, but the level of immersion is still there. It's Fantasy Flight, so the artwork is awesome. The components are great. And it's still Arkham Horror. Again, but it's accessible. For me, I can sit down and teach this a lot quicker than I could the previous game. So it meant my interactions with it were more fun. And so we've had, my gaming group, we've had some time with this, and we enjoy playing it. One of the other things they have for it as well, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure, which is a hardback rulebook for this game. I love this. This gives you the how to play and the rules reference document, plus some background and more stories, which I think is fantastic. So worth checking out if you're a fan of the game. So Arkham Horror 3rd edition for me, love it. I also like the 2nd edition as well, but for different reasons. Can't pick between the two of them. I've had some great experiences with this stuff so far, and some wonderful experiences with the previous edition. So, having said that, If you want to see more on it, Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, if you want to see a playthrough, let us know in the comments below. However, I can't leave that without actually talking about the other games in the Arkham Files series. If you're into card gaming, they have the wonderful Arkham Horror, the card game. Again, it's Fantasy Flight. You have wonderful artwork, components, and nice gameplay mechanics as well. And this one is very challenging, worth checking out if you're into card games. Also for that as well, which I really like, they have a series of novels. There's a story in there as well, but also an expansion for it as well. So you generally get other characters from this that you can use in the Arkham Horror card game. If you like dice games, they've got a game called Elder Sign, which I love. Dice rolling and the Cthulhu mythos. What else could you ask for? And the components again are great, and you get to chuck dice. Come on, tell me that's not fun. Now this is a game that I think is on par for me with the actual Arkham Horror series itself, which is Mansions of Madness. This game here is a 2nd edition. What they've done with this is they've done away with the need for a keeper, which was like the DM in the previous edition, and they've replaced that with an app. Now, it's really immersive. It's one of those games I can pull out with some friends who haven't played before, and they're just automatically like, some of them are like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. It's got miniatures, you use the app, you can sit down and have great fun with this. And if you like more global game, you have Eldritch Horror, which takes the game, zooms it right out and takes you around the world where you can go solving the mysteries of the Cthulhu mythos. Fantastic fun. Now the things I also really enjoy about the whole series is the fact that it's 1 to multiple players depending on the game you get, but it always has that solo component. So for me, I can go home, crack out Arkham Horror, crack out Mansions of Madness, and just relax and unwind from the day. So, thanks for listening, and remember, you don't see that every day.